If you're over 60 and your doctor has ever mentioned high creatinine or a lower eGFR, you probably know how frightening those numbers can sound. Maybe your creatinine was normal last year but suddenly increased. Maybe your eGFR dropped from one blood test to the next. Or perhaps you've noticed swelling around your ankles, changes in urination, unusual fatigue, or blood pressure that seems harder to control. And naturally, you start wondering, what can I eat to bring those numbers back in the right direction? This is where many people make a serious mistake. They search online for a miracle vegetable, kidney detox, tea, or supplement that promises to lower creatinine in a few days. But creatinine is not a toxin that one vegetable simply washes away. Creatinine is a waste product produced from normal muscle activity and the digestion of protein. Your kidneys remove it from your blood, and serum creatinine is one of the measurements used to estimate your kidney filtration rate, or eGFR. Even factors such as eating a large amount of cooked meat, intense exercise, muscle mass, and certain supplements can temporarily influence creatinine readings. So lowering the number on a laboratory report is not the real goal. The real goal is protecting how well your kidneys actually function. That means controlling blood pressure, managing diabetes if you have it, reducing excess sodium, avoiding unnecessary kidney stress, and building meals that support healthy blood vessels and provide the right balance of minerals for your individual kidney function. And vegetables can absolutely help you do that. Eating more minimally processed plant foods in place of heavily processed foods and excessive amounts of red meat can support blood pressure, blood sugar, cardiovascular health, and an overall kidney-friendly eating pattern. Today, we're counting down 5 powerful vegetables that can fit especially well into a kidney-conscious diet after 60. And stay with me until number 1, because the vegetable at the top of today's list costs very little, lasts for days in your refrigerator, and is one of the easiest foods to use when you need more vegetables without dramatically increasing potassium. But first, one important warning. If you have chronic kidney disease, dialysis, high potassium, or have been instructed to limit potassium, phosphorus, protein, sodium, or fluids, follow your healthcare team's plan. There is no single kidney diet that works for everyone. People with CKD can have very different potassium needs depending on kidney function, medications, dialysis treatment, and laboratory results. Both too much and too little potassium can cause serious problems. Now let's begin. Starting our countdown are red bell peppers. They may look simple, but for someone trying to build a kidney-conscious meal, bell peppers solve one of the biggest problems older adults face. How do you make food taste good without pouring salt all over it? Red bell peppers are naturally flavorful, slightly sweet, crunchy, and colorful. They also appear among the National Kidney Foundation's lower potassium vegetable choices in a standard half-cup serving. Why does lower potassium matter? Not because potassium is unhealthy. Potassium is essential. Your heart, muscles, and nerves need it. But when kidney function becomes significantly impaired, the kidneys may have difficulty removing enough potassium from the bloodstream. For someone whose blood potassium is already high, selecting appropriate lower potassium vegetables can make meal planning easier. Bell peppers also provide vitamin C and colorful plant compounds. But their greatest kidney-friendly advantage may be what they help you remove from your plate: salt. Excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid that can contribute to swelling and higher blood pressure, increasing stress on both the kidneys and cardiovascular system. Many people with CKD are advised to reduce sodium, although the exact limit should come from their healthcare professional. Instead of covering eggs with processed meat and salty cheese, try adding red peppers and onions. Instead of using a bottled sauce on chicken, roast peppers with garlic, herbs, black pepper, and lemon. Instead of used salty crackers as a snack, slice a pepper into strips and pair it with an appropriate low-sodium food. But here's where people get it wrong. Fresh peppers and pickled peppers are not nutritionally identical. Pickled vegetables and jarred products can contain large amounts of sodium. Check the label. And remember, a kidney-friendly vegetable can become a kidney-unfriendly meal when it is buried under salt, processed cheese, or high-sodium sauces. The powerful takeaway is simple. Red bell peppers don't directly lower creatinine. They help create meals that make sodium control and vegetable intake easier. And those are habits that matter much more for long-term kidney protection. Number 4 is a vegetable many people over 60 grew up eating. Green beans. They aren't trendy. They aren't marketed as a detox superfood, but that may be exactly why they're so useful. A typical half-cup portion of green beans is also listed among lower potassium vegetable choices by the National Kidney Foundation. Green beans provide fiber while adding volume to a meal without requiring large amounts of sodium, sugar, or saturated fat. Fiber matters because kidney health is closely tied to overall metabolic health. High blood pressure and diabetes are major risk factors for chronic kidney disease, and a healthy eating pattern containing more whole plant foods can support the management of those conditions. But here's the problem. The way many people prepare green beans completely changes the picture. Canned green beans packed with salt, green bean casserole made with condensed soup, processed fried onions, bacon, cheese, salted butter. Suddenly, a simple vegetable becomes a high-sodium side dish. Instead, choose fresh or plain frozen green beans whenever possible. Before we continue, if you want a complete step-by-step guide to healthier aging, check out our ebook, Healthy Living for Seniors. It covers nutrition, senior-friendly exercise, better sleep, mindset, daily routines, and practical wellness habits, all in one easy guide. You'll find the link in the description below. Steam them until they're tender but still slightly firm. Then add garlic, onion, lemon juice, black pepper, a small amount of olive oil, fresh herbs. Now you have flavor without requiring a massive sodium load. If canned green beans are your most affordable or convenient option, look for no salt added varieties. Draining and rinsing canned foods can also remove some added sodium. Here is another reason this matters. When people are told their creatinine is elevated, some immediately begin eliminating entire food groups. They eat less and less because they're afraid every food will hurt their kidneys. That can become dangerous, especially after 60, when maintaining adequate nutrition and muscle is important. A kidney diet shouldn't mean starvation. It means making smarter substitutions. Green beans are a good example. You're not eating them because they'll magically force your creatinine from 1.8 to 1.1. You're using them to replace saltier, more processed side dishes and create a dietary pattern your kidneys have an easier time handling. That is a much more realistic strategy. Number 3 is broccoli. You've probably heard broccoli described as a superfood dozens of times. For kidney health, however, the useful part isn't the marketing. It's the combination of nutrition and practicality. Broccoli provides fiber, vitamin C, and a variety of naturally occurring plant compounds. A standard half-cup serving of broccoli is also included among lower potassium vegetable choices on the National Kidney Foundation's current list. Now here's the important connection. Your kidneys contain delicate blood vessels. Anything that repeatedly damages those vessels can gradually affect filtration. That's one reason controlling high blood pressure and diabetes is so important for preserving kidney function. Vegetables don't replace blood pressure medicine or diabetes treatment. But a diet built around more fresh vegetables and fewer heavily processed foods supports the same overall direction. Less unnecessary sodium, more fiber, better meal quality, fewer highly processed foods, and potentially an easier path toward maintaining a healthy weight. Broccoli can also help make your plate feel substantial without relying entirely on meat. This becomes especially important when talking about creatinine. Creatinine comes partly from normal muscle metabolism, but dietary meat can also temporarily affect blood creatinine. The National Kidney Foundation notes that eating large amounts of cooked meat before testing can raise serum creatinine and make calculated eGFR appear lower than it otherwise might. That does not mean everyone should stop eating meat. Protein requirements vary, especially in CKD. Some people with kidney disease may be advised to moderate protein intake, while eating too little protein can lead to malnutrition. The smarter strategy is balance. Instead of building every dinner around an oversized piece of meat with almost no vegetables, increase the broccoli and other plant foods while keeping your protein portion appropriate for your healthcare plan. How you cook broccoli matters too. Do not boil it until it becomes gray and tasteless. And don't cover it in processed cheese sauce. Try roasting it. Add garlic and black pepper. Finish it with lemon juice. Or mix lightly steamed broccoli into rice, pasta, eggs, soup, or another kidney-appropriate meal. The goal is not to eat broccoli once. The goal is to make vegetables normal. Kidney protection is rarely about what you eat one Tuesday evening. It's about what you repeatedly eat for years. Number 2 is cauliflower. And if you're trying to reduce kidney stress while keeping meals satisfying, cauliflower may be one of the most practical vegetables in your kitchen. But what really makes cauliflower powerful is substitution. Consider some of the foods people frequently eat with dinner. Large servings of potatoes, salty boxed rice, French fries, creamy pasta, frozen side dishes, packaged mashed potatoes. These can contribute large amounts of sodium, and some, such as potatoes, may also require portion control for someone with elevated potassium. Now replace part of that side dish with cauliflower. Steam cauliflower and mash it with roasted garlic, black pepper, herbs, and a small amount of olive oil. You don't need to pretend it's exactly the same as mashed potatoes. It isn't, but it can dramatically change the nutritional balance of the plate. You can also finely chop cauliflower and use it alongside rice. Add it to soups, roast it until the edges become brown and slightly crisp. Mix it with other vegetables. Or use cauliflower as a base for a low-sodium vegetable side dish. The benefit isn't that cauliflower pulls creatinine out of your bloodstream. Only functioning kidneys remove creatinine. The benefit is that cauliflower helps you create meals with more whole plant food and fewer heavily processed ingredients. And that matters because preserving kidney function involves reducing the conditions that keep injuring the kidneys. Control blood pressure. Control blood sugar. Limit excess sodium. Avoid smoking. Maintain a healthy weight. Be careful with kidney-harming medications, such as NSAIDs, when you have CKD, unless your healthcare team tells you otherwise. One vegetable doesn't do those things for you, but the right foods make those goals easier. There's also an important potassium lesson here. People sometimes hear low potassium vegetable and assume they can eat unlimited quantities. That's not true. A very large serving of a lower potassium food may contain more potassium than a small serving of a higher potassium food. NIDDK specifically emphasizes portion size when managing potassium in CKD. So don't turn 1 cup into an entire mixing bowl simply because cauliflower appears on a kidney-friendly list. Portion still matters. Your laboratory results still matter. Your individual treatment plan still matters. Here it is. The number 1 vegetable on today's list. Cabbage. It may be the least glamorous food we've discussed, and that is exactly what makes it so valuable. Cabbage is inexpensive, it stores well, it's versatile. It can be eaten raw or cooked, and green and red cabbage appear among lower potassium vegetable choices in standard servings. Raw green cabbage is also categorized as a lower potassium leafy green by the National Kidney Foundation. Cabbage provides fiber, vitamin C, and naturally occurring plant compounds. But again, its biggest advantage is practical. You can use cabbage to increase the volume of meals without relying on heavily processed foods. Shred it into a salad. Sauté it with onion and garlic. Add it to homemade soup. Roast cabbage wedges. Use cabbage leaves as wraps. Mix red cabbage with bell peppers for a colorful side dish. Add shredded cabbage to tacos instead of relying heavily on cheese and salty sauces. One inexpensive head of cabbage can become multiple meals. But preparation is everything. Sauerkraut may contain a substantial amount of sodium. Prepared coleslaw can contain added sugar and salt. Cabbage cooked with bacon, sausage, or processed meat may come with far more sodium and saturated fat than the vegetable itself. So don't judge the health value of a food only by its first ingredient. Look at the entire meal. A simple cabbage salad can be incredibly easy. Shredded cabbage, bell pepper, a little onion, lemon juice or vinegar, black pepper, fresh herbs, a small amount of olive oil, no complicated supplement, no kidney cleanse, no expensive powder, just food. And that's exactly why cabbage earns number 1. It represents the real strategy for protecting kidney function. Simple choices you can actually repeat. Now we need to clear up something that causes enormous confusion. If you change your diet and your creatinine number decreases, that does not automatically mean kidney damage has reversed. Serum creatinine is influenced by kidney filtration, but it can also be affected by muscle mass, cooked meat intake, intense exercise, creatine supplements, and other factors. Because creatinine is used in the equation that estimates GFR, changes in creatinine can affect the reported eGFR. This is why doctors look at trends, not just one isolated number. They may also use urine albumin to creatinine ratio, or UACR, to look for albumin leaking into urine, a sign of kidney damage that can exist even when eGFR is above 60. An eGFR below 60 for at least 3 months can be evidence of chronic kidney disease, while an eGFR below 15 is associated with kidney failure. But small fluctuations between tests can occur, and the result must be interpreted in context. So don't chase a laboratory number with vegetables. Protect the kidneys themselves. That's the real goal. Mistake number 1. Too much sodium. You can eat cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower every day. But if the rest of your diet contains canned soup, processed meat, frozen dinners, salty crackers, fast food, and bottled sauces, you're missing the bigger issue. Too much sodium encourages fluid retention and can worsen swelling and high blood pressure. Read labels. Cook at home more often. Use herbs, garlic, pepper, vinegar, and lemon instead of automatically adding salt. Mistake number 2, using light salt without checking. Some people reduce sodium by purchasing salt substitutes. But many salt substitutes contain potassium chloride. For someone with high blood potassium or advanced CKD, that can become dangerous. NIDDK advises people managing high potassium to check ingredients and avoid potassium chloride when instructed by their healthcare professional. Never assume a product is safer because the package says heart healthy or low sodium. Read the ingredients. Mistake number 3. Restricting potassium without needing to. The opposite mistake is becoming terrified of every fruit and vegetable. Not everyone with CKD needs a low potassium diet, and some dialysis treatments remove enough potassium that a person may need more potassium-rich foods. Your blood test decides, not social media. Mistake number 4. Ignoring the real kidney threats. Vegetables cannot compensate for uncontrolled diabetes or uncontrolled high blood pressure. Those conditions are major drivers of kidney damage. Protecting kidney function means managing them consistently, taking prescribed medicines correctly, avoiding smoking, and following up with appropriate kidney testing. So how could you use these 5 vegetables tomorrow? At bread, bell peppers, to eggs or another appropriate protein source. At lunch, make a cabbage-based salad with onion, herbs, and a low-sodium homemade dressing. For dinner, roast broccoli and cauliflower and serve them beside a protein portion that fits your kidney plan. Add green beans on another day instead of a salty frozen side dish. Use garlic, lemon, vinegar, herbs, and spices throughout the day to build flavor. Choose fresh or plain frozen vegetables most often. If canned vegetables are more affordable or convenient, select no salt added versions when possible and rinse them before eating. Notice what we're doing. We're not trying to flush creatinine. We're gradually removing things that make kidney management harder. Excess salt, highly processed foods, oversized portions, and poor quality meals. Then we're replacing them with foods that are easier to fit into a kidney-conscious pattern. That is how sustainable change works. Do not try to manage a serious kidney problem with food alone. If you have persistent swelling, blood in your urine, significant changes in urination, worsening fatigue, persistent nausea, unexplained itching, or shortness of breath, speak with a healthcare professional. These symptoms can have many different causes and do not prove kidney disease, but they deserve proper evaluation. And if you experience severe difficulty breathing, chest pain, fainting, confusion, or rapidly worsening swelling, seek urgent medical care rather than trying another food, tea, supplement, or detox. Let's quickly review the 5 vegetables. Number 5. Red bell peppers. A flavorful lower potassium choice that can help you reduce reliance on salty sauces and processed foods. Number 4. Green beans. Simple, fiber-containing, and easy to prepare without heavy sodium. Number 3. Broccoli. A nutrient-dense vegetable that helps build a more plant-forward, less processed plate. Number 2. Cauliflower. One of the most useful substitutes for heavier, saltier side dishes. And number 1. Cabbage. Affordable, versatile, easy to store, and simple to fit into many kidney-conscious meals. But remember, none of these vegetables directly forces creatinine down. None can regenerate damaged kidney filters. And none guarantees that your eGFR will rise. What they can do is help you create the kind of eating pattern that supports blood pressure control, appropriate mineral balance, healthier blood vessels, and reduced dependence on highly processed foods. And that is how you protect kidney function for the long term. Start with one change. Replace one salty side dish with cauliflower. Add peppers instead of processed meat to breakfast. Make cabbage part of lunch. Choose green beans instead of fries, and add broccoli to dinner. Small decisions may not feel powerful today, but kidney disease often develops through years of repeated pressures. Protection works through repetition too. One healthier meal, one lower sodium choice, one controlled blood pressure reading, one better blood sugar day. Repeat it again tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, tell us in the comments. How old are you, and what was your most recent creatinine or eGFR result? If you're comfortable sharing it, and tell us which of these 5 vegetables you already eat every week. Like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because in our next episode, we'll reveal 5 everyday foods that can quietly raise kidney workload after age 60 and the safer replacements that may fit your kidney plan better. Until next time, watch the hidden sodium, know your potassium level, know your creatinine and eGFR, eat more minimally processed foods, and remember your kidneys don't need a miracle cleanse. They need healthier choices repeated every single day.